Welcome to Retail Pricing Unlocked, the podcast powered by InsightTrack. With over 15 years of experience supporting retailers, we share expert insights and strategies to help you turn pricing into a competitive advantage. Now, here's today's episode.
Right then, let's take a focused look at something that, well, frankly, doesn't always grab the headlines. We spend so much time talking about the glossy side of retail strategy, things like dynamic automation, AI pricing, big growth targets. Those are the loud conversations, aren't they? But today, we really need to explore what's underneath all that noise, the hidden foundations. We're looking at why data accuracy is genuinely the silent hero when it comes to making smart pricing decisions.
It really is. Look, as the sources we looked at show pretty clearly, none of the fancy pricing engines, the sophisticated dashboards you might invest in, none of it really works if the basic information going in is wrong, or even just a bit out of date. For the pricing teams, the category managers actually making the calls, accuracy isn't some sort of nice-to-have extra. It's the absolute starting point. You, as the person using that data, you have to trust it completely.
That's the crux of it, isn't it? So our aim in this exploration really is to unpack how even small slip-ups in data don't just cause little errors. They create these huge ripple effects, affecting everything from profit margins right through to team morale. And importantly, we'll outline the specific strategies needed to build what we're calling data confidence. Okay, so let's dig into this, maybe with a scenario. Imagine you're gearing up for a really big trading period. Let's say the run-up to Christmas, or maybe a huge clearance event, high stakes. You've got all the latest tools running, the automations are humming, you expect instant reactions to what competitors are doing.
Right, and that's precisely where things can go wrong. Just one small oversight. Maybe a competitor subtly changes their website layout, just enough that one key product isn't tracked properly anymore. Or perhaps there's a mismatch, a slight difference in the SKU code between your system and theirs. Or maybe an important discount tier doesn't get picked up because they've changed the wording slightly.
Seems minor, doesn't it? Just a momentary glitch. But according to the analysis we've reviewed, that single missed detail can set off a whole chain reaction. When that data foundation is shaky, there are three big hidden costs, these sort of silent creeping risks that can quickly undermine the whole strategy.
The first one, and often the most immediately painful, is margin leakage. This happens when your automated systems basically panic. They cut prices when they don't need to because they're working off bad intelligence.
Right. Can you give us a concrete example? How does that actually play out?
Yeah, sure. Picture this. Your system sees that competitor A has dropped their price on, say, a high-value laptop by 8%. Your automation reacts instantly, matches that price. But here's the snag. The data snapshot your system used was maybe 3 hours old, and competitor A, they actually ran out of stock on that laptop 2 hours ago. So you've just given away 8% of your margin for absolutely no reason, no strategic benefit at all. It was profit you didn't need to sacrifice. And you replicate that kind of phantom reaction across, 100 popular items. It costs thousands every single day.
That's a really stark example. Reacting to ghosts, effectively. Or old news. Okay, so that's margin leakage. What's the second hidden cost?
The second big one is missed opportunities. If your view of the competition isn't complete what we sometimes call a promo blind spot, you simply don't see the chances to actually lead the market, rather than just playing catch-up all the time.
So it's not just about avoiding bad reactions, it's also about failing to be proactive, failing to spot weaknesses in your rivals.
Exactly that. Let's say a key competitor launches a deep but maybe very short-lived promotion on a really popular item. If your scraping tech fails to spot that for, say, 6 hours, you've missed the boat. You've missed that crucial window to maybe match them or perhaps even undercut them slightly to win some share. You lose out, and you let the competition get ahead on those key customer journeys. In fast-moving retail, a 6-hour blind spot. That's practically an eternity.
Understood. And the third cost, which the sources mention, seems to focus less on the direct financials and more on the people running the show.
That's right. The third cost is eroded trust. It's about the internal impact. Once a pricing team starts seeing fundamental errors in their dashboards, maybe a few too many of those phantom price cuts we mentioned, or missing key competitor promotions, they just lose faith. It's a bit like using a sat-nav that occasionally tells you to turn down a dead end. After a few times, you stop trusting it, don't you? You start checking a map yourself.
Right. So instead of leveraging the powerful tools they've likely invested a lot in, they end up falling back on Manual checks, spreadsheets, double-checking everything, firefighting mode.
Precisely. And that loss of confidence just grinds everything to a halt. It kills agility, creates huge bottlenecks in making decisions, and shifts the whole team's focus. They go from proactive strategy setting to just reactive manual validation. The investment in all that clever automation, it becomes almost redundant if everyone's spending their time checking the machine's homework.
It really does sound like those quiet flaws just chip away at performance and at people's sanity too, I imagine. So if manual checks and constant second-guessing are the signs of low confidence, how do retailers actually build that rock-solid foundation? It's clearly not just a one-off fix.
No, absolutely not. It requires treating data accuracy as a constant, ongoing operational priority, not just a setup task. Think of accuracy itself as a competitive edge. What we see is that the really successful retailers tackle this with a kind of layered defense. It's built around 4 key operational pillars. The first pillar is system health monitoring. This is all about spotting anomalies fast. So tracking key metrics like scrape frequency, are we getting data often enough, and critically, match rates.
Could you just clarify match rates for us? What does that mean in practice?
Yeah, good question. So a match rate is basically the percentage of competitor products you're trying to track that your system successfully links or matches to your own products in your catalog. So if you're aiming to track, say, 1,000 rival products and your match rate suddenly dips from 99% down to 80%, well, that's a big drop in visibility, 20% blind spot. System health monitoring flags that up straight away. It tells the tech team, look, something's likely changed on the competitor site.
Okay, so that covers the immediate technical red flags. But this brings us to an interesting point. If we're automating so much, why do we still need people involved? Isn't that kind of defeating the object?
Ah, well, that leads perfectly into pillar number 2, human validation on top of automation. Look, the algorithms are brilliant, they're fast, they handle huge scale, but competitor websites, they're incredibly complex. They often use subtle tricks, maybe dynamic bundles that change, or pricing tests only shown in certain regions, or really nuanced product descriptions, things that can easily confuse a purely automated system.
So the human layer spots the nuance, the strategic intent that the machine might miss.
Spot on. A data expert, someone who understands the market, can look at 2 products that seem similar algorithmically and say, actually, no, those aren't truly comparable competitors because of X, Y, or Z. Maybe the warranty's different, or one includes a free accessory now. That manual oversight is absolutely vital for validating those tricky matches and flagging the subtle stuff that changes the competitive picture but gets missed by scanners.
I see. So we need that expert eye. But this need for reliability, it must go deeper than just the overall system health, surely.
It does, and that's pillar 3. Checks at every level. You need quality assurance running constantly at all scales. You have to verify reliability right from the top level, broad accuracy across a whole category down to the really granular product by product level. Think about it. When a pricing analyst needs data for their top 50 most important products, their key performance indicators, they must have 100% certainty that the data for those specific items is bang on. That detailed confidence. It's completely non-negotiable. And finally, pillar 4 is continuous technology development. Competitor websites don't stand still. They're constantly tweaking designs, maybe adding things to make scraping harder, deploying new anti-scraping measures. So your scraping technology can't be static either. It has to be constantly evolving, constantly refined, just to keep up and remain effective. If your platform isn't getting actively updated, your competitive visibility will just quietly degrade over time. You won't even notice until it's too late.
Right. That makes sense. It's a constantly moving target. So that combination, the tech, the human oversight, the checks, the continuous updates, that's what delivers the trusted data feed, the one retailers can act on instantly. But things still go wrong, don't they? Challenges crop up. A competitor might do a massive website overhaul overnight, which could temporarily break the data stream. How crucial is the speed of response when those inevitable problems hit?
Oh, speed is absolutely everything. The market simply doesn't pause while you fix your data feed. When a big competitor site change happens, or maybe there's an unexpected surge in promotional activity that disrupts things, the response has to be instant. Internally, that means immediate alerts when scrapes start failing. And then it needs rapid, hands-on work to adjust the scraping logic, fix the processes, get it working again, ASAP.
So minimize the downtime. Get the data flowing again as fast as humanly possible. Exactly. But just as important is proactive communication, telling the client, the pricing team, what's happening. Even if a system is temporarily down or partially compromised, they need to know immediately what's happening, which products might be affected, when do we expect a fix. Keeping people informed maintains that crucial data confidence, especially during really high-pressure times like Black Friday when every minute counts.
That speed, that commitment, it links directly to performance guarantees, doesn't it? Which brings us to service level agreements, SLAs. For listeners, what do SLAs actually guarantee in this specific context of competitive data?
Well, an SLA essentially puts promises into concrete terms. It guarantees specific performance metrics. It's more than just saying, yeah, we'll try to fix it. It means committing to proactive support, guaranteeing fixed times, ensuring consistent monitoring, often tied to specific accuracy levels. For instance, an SLA might guarantee, say, 99% data accuracy on the client's top 100 most strategic SKUs. It removes that uncertainty for the retailer. Because, as we've established, vital pricing decisions just can't wait for the data to maybe catch up eventually. And look, if we pull this all together, connect it back to the big picture, data accuracy isn't just some, IT checklist item. It's genuinely a fundamental competitive advantage. When the data is trusted, absolutely trusted, then every single pricing move works for you, protecting margin. Teams move faster, they're more agile because they're not bogged down in double-checking. Pricing strategy stops being a source of risk and becomes a real source of strength.
That's the key takeaway, isn't it? For you, the category manager, the person making the decisions, the message is clear. Those sleek dashboards, the powerful automation, they're just tools, sophisticated calculators if you like. But without accurate, reliable, timely data feeding them, those calculators can actually point you in the completely wrong direction. With that solid foundation of data confidence, though, then they become genuinely powerful engines for protecting your margins and driving growth.
Absolutely. And that's why certainty in your data isn't really optional in this game. It's the practical difference between always reacting to what the market does and being able to confidently lead it.
A brilliant way to put it. Thank you for shedding light on such a critical, yet often hidden aspect of retail strategy. We really hope this exploration encourages you, the listener, to perhaps take a closer look at the invisible foundation supporting your own pricing decisions.
My pleasure. It's crucial stuff.
You've been listening to Retail Pricing Unlocked, brought to you by InsightTrack. For more resources, case studies, and expert support, visit insighttrack.com. Make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and join us again next week.